Stub my fucking little toe. Now I'm hugging my headset. Woohoo! Oh fuck. Okay, so we're checking out Bewitched Hearts. It's a free-to-play visual novel from itch.io. I really like the art. It looks cute, so we're gonna give it a whirl. Enter a character name. Sloot. Hallows Even. Halloween. I stare at my mirror in the mostly bare room. A lopsided gray donkey head stares back at me. Some of the seams along the head are beginning to loosen and the body bears faded stains that I try not to think about. The sight of it in front of me makes me question all those hours I spent searching at Costumes R Us rentals. But surely this silly costume truly conveys the spirit of Halloween, does it not? Making my way to the kitchen and living area, I check my phone. 6 p.m. It's almost time for Irma and Lilia to arrive for our little Halloween house party. We've all been working hard on our upcoming visual novel, Alone a Flame of Flower. I've been worried about both of them. Lilia's art has looked a little rushed, and Irma's editing has been less eloquent. The stress is really getting to them. As the lead developer of our bite-sized trio, I organize this party to raise our spirits and relax. After all, the reason Lilia and I have been creating stories for so long was for fun and as an escape. When Irma came along last year, we started to experiment with visual novels. The way that art, writing, and sound can bring a story to life like no other reignited my passion for stories. I still remember when Lilia first encouraged me to write. Without her, Beep beep. My phone lights up. A text from Lilia. Hey, I'm at the door. Sorry if I'm a little early. If you're busy, I'm okay. Just waiting outside. Love your garden. My overgrown garden. Maybe that's her way of telling me to do some maintenance on it. Thought surfaced in my mind. Perhaps I should try scaring her. I can imagine it now. Cute Lilia, probably in a frilly dress and a bow in her hair, shocked. I can't help it as a smirk forms across my face. I quietly sneak up to the door, then thrust open the door and yell, "Hee-haw!" Oh, wow! You scared me. How underwhelming. Ooh, wait, that costume. Lilia starts fidgeting. I realize I've been staring too long. I quickly avert my eyes, my face crimson. Lilia, your outfit is, not what I expected. Oh, do you like it? I'm the devil. Isn't Halloween about being daring and unexpected? I've always wanted to try things like this, and I finally got the courage to do it. Even though you and Irma would both laugh at me. No, you look great. Lilia pouts. I put a lot of effort into this. A lot of liquid lipstick was wasted to get these blood tears to look right. Liquid what now? Lilia sighs and stares at me dubiously. Oh, I bet you wish you had this costume instead. Well, if you like it, then I like it. Okay, Lilia, out with it. I know you too well to tell when you're lying. It's just, I'm not sure what a donkey has to do with Halloween. That's not really scary, and it's not really daring either. Think it's not daring to wear a fursuit in public? Really? Grr, just wait until Irma gets here. I know she'll understand. Sorry, I take it back. Ignore the urge to pat Lilia on the head. No, it's fine. Come inside. Lilia and I sit on our knees at opposite ends of the small wooden round table in the living room. She looked down at her hands, fidgeting. I really couldn't take her seriously sitting there in front of me, wearing something so... Lilia. Yes? So, you're still afraid of doorbells, huh? Hey, that's not it, and you know it's not. I just don't like loud noises, and I don't want to bother you in case you're busy. Sorry. You never changed, do you? Just like when we were kids. Lilia has always been a bit shy, a little strange, and extremely clumsy. But that's her charm, I guess. Something about her makes me want to protect her, or tease her. I've known Lilia for so long, her quirks feel warm and familiar to me. So does she actually have multicolored eyes, or is that to go with her costume? Like, did she wear contacts, or does she actually have one blue and one green eye? We begin to reminisce about our childhood together. We laugh together about simple things and small pleasures, our little secrets we once shared. There's a comfortable lull in the conversation. Lily begins looking around the room. I suddenly become self-conscious of my small, sparsely decorated house. There's only 2 rooms, my bedroom and the combined living and kitchen area, with the bathroom off to the side, but I couldn't afford to pay anything else in rent. Salute, are you okay here by yourself? Don't worry about me, Lilia. It's much better here alone. It's quiet, peacefully quiet. I don't have to hear Mom and Dad yelling at each other all the time. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's nice here. Lilia seems deep in thought, her expression unreadable. but you still haven't unpacked all your stuff. Lilia points to a few boxes in the corner of the room stacked haphazardly. Would it help if we did it together? Well, those boxes have some of my grandmother's stuff she left for me before passing. I don't know. I can't bring myself to even go near it. There's probably bottles of human eyes and fingernails inside and weird spell books or something. Sloot, sorry. I know how you feel about your grandmother, about witches. It's alright. I'm doing fine. I promise next time you come over, there'll be no boxes in sight. Well, as long as you're doing okay, Sloot. And, if you ever need it, I can come over a bit more often. It must be difficult being by yourself and doing everything alone. Just during the day, of course. I can help you with some of the chores. I live really close, so it's no big deal. And I promise if I break anything, I'll definitely buy a new one. I smiled. I could tell Lilia was trying her best. Lilia, Hello? Bring, bring. A loud voice called out, followed by the doorbell ringing. I'm fine, Lilia, I promise. Come on, that must be Irma. Okay. The three of us crowd around the tiny round table. Sloot, I have to ask, what were you thinking when you bought that costume? You be nice to me. I like my donkey costume. You too, Irma. As my editor, you're supposed to go along with my decisions. Editing is a lot more than spelling errors, Plus, if I went along with all your ideas, I think we would have half the following. Oh, Irma. You two just don't understand the true spirit of Halloween. I am a donkey, and you need to respect that. What's with the girly frills anyway, Irma? Huh? Well, this is what all witches wear, you stupid donkey. I really doubt that. Hey, I think Irma looks cute. Don't you think, Sloot? Cute, huh? I looked Irma up and down. She seemed to flinch at my gaze, but didn't say a word. It almost looked like she expected an answer. I guess. They're both cute. I don't know. Who am I going for? I don't know if I'm gonna move for a tsundere, but I prefer Irma's design. Not as cute as you, Lilia. Sloot. Okay, you can stop leering now. Oh, by the way, am I late? I thought we were all meeting at 7, unless you two planned something beforehand. No, Lilia just came early. A rare occurrence for her, but it's better than last time when she was 30 minutes late because she fell over and scraped her knee. Hey! Oh, right, of course. Okay, so are we ready for some scary stories? And then, Irma and Lilia leaned in closer to me as I lowered my voice. It crept closer and closer, the monster all men feared. It scared even the most powerful and richest people on Earth. Only a few were not overcome by fear from it, even though the monster... Only a few were not overcome by fear from even the thought of the monster, but to all who encountered it, it left terrible scars and trauma on them. Mimi was working at her desk, not noticing as the creature silently inched closer and closer. She nonchalantly flipped her calendar to the next date, and there it was, the mark of the sickly, ugly, hideous monster, written with a red marker. The words read. I paused for dramatic effect. Lily and Irma inched even closer to me, their eyes wide like saucers. Irma has her eyes closed. Final CG due today! Huh? Roar! The deadline monster pounced on Mimi. Eee! The evil spawn, the devil consumed the poor hardest girl. She was never seen again. I smiled smugly with satisfaction. Sloot, I'm a bit disappointed and worried about our future as VN developers with stories like that. Irma stood up and turned the lights back on. Are we done already? These stories are really quite boring. Irma stifled a yawn. Especially for a guy who brags. Don't call me a guy. I am Sloot Thought, and I am a donkey. Especially for a guy who brags about being half witch blood or whatever that means. Irma? What's with you anyway? A lot of your concepts involve evil witches. You know they're not real, right? Evil witches don't exist and can't hurt you. Okay, how about we have a food break? Irma, don't go there. Huh? Excuse me, Sloot? You know what? I stormed over to the boxes of my grandmother's belongings. Inside, on the very top of a bunch of strange jars and emblems, was a light blue hard-covered book. Some strange lettering adorned the front. A gold leaf writing flickered and danced amongst the light. At the bottom, written in plain English, was a small inscription that simply read, S-Y-B-I-L. I brought the book over, is my grandmother's spell book. Witches are very real and very dangerous. You don't expect me to believe that, do you? Fine. Oh, what is this book, anyway? Irma came up next to me. What? Doesn't make any sense at all. Sloot, you don't have to do that. Sloot, you don't have to do this. Why don't we do something else? I opened the book, flicking through the pages. More of the same strange squiggly lettering was inside, with diagrams and various pictures of flowers, eyeballs, and animal parts. Suddenly, I find a word I recognize. Cherish. Blinking again, the words change back to nonsensical squiggles. A spell with cherish in it can't be a bad thing, plus witches are female, and last time I checked, that doesn't include me. I'm a donkey. Besides, my mom never had any powers. I focused hard on the words, and slowly they began to make sense. As I read the sounds out, the words turned gold and translated themselves to English. They, whom I cherish. Someone I cherish, huh? I thought about Lilia. Sloot, what are you doing? Sloot, something feels bad about this. Hath done me wrong. Sloot, this isn't funny. Please stop. I believe you, okay? And shall now be forever perished. I stopped myself from reading the last word. The book began to glow softly in my hands and then violently enshrouded the room in a bright golden light. I instinctively covered my eyes. The light was blinding. I heard Irma yelp, followed by a soft thunk kind of sound. Then it was dark again. I opened my eyes. Are you okay, Sloot? What was that? I don't know. Lilia! Lilia was lying on the floor motionless. Lilia, wake up! Sloot, do something! My body felt icy and drained. Perish. She's... Lilia! Lilia was silent no matter how much Irma shook her vigorously, desperately. There was no movement or any sign of her waking up. Lilia, no! Please! Irma put her head against Lilia's chest, listening for a heartbeat. Seconds felt like hours. She's still breathing. Sloot, what the hell did you do? She won't wake up. We have to call an ambulance now. No, we don't have much time. We need to reverse the hex. Is this some sort of joke to you? No, we can't call an ambulance. I think I accidentally hexed her. I tried to scan through the book, but there wasn't much else I could understand. Most of it looked like nonsense to me. If only there was a way we could decipher it. Maybe there was another book on how to reverse a hex. The book. We need to reverse the spell. I wasn't lying when I said I was born from a line of witches. What do you mean? I looked back at the book. The golden words danced. By midnight, they will take their final breath. It says by midnight. We can just figure out how to reverse it before then. Irma peered over my shoulder at the book. What language is this anyway? It doesn't look like any kind of script I've ever seen. Irma, please, for Lilia, I need you to trust me. I know it's hard to believe, but the ambulance aren't going to be able to do anything about this. Please, Irma, I don't think I can do this alone. Okay. Okay? So, tell me what we need to do. I trust you. Let's save Lilia. Together. Irma, she always was the strongest one in the group. If she didn't believe me right now, I'm not sure I could believe myself. The library. They might have a book I can decipher the writing with. Or anything else by Sybil. It's not too far from here. We need to hurry. Let's go. Lilia, we'll save you. 8 p.m., 4 hours until midnight. We weave our way through the busy city streets with the mid-October sunset dyeing the sky a harsh red. As if the remnants of summer were still lingering about, the air is warm and humid, fighting what is now the midst of fall. It's hot. I told you we should have had a drink before we left. But the more time we spend dawdling about, the less time we have to save Lilia. I'd rather die from this heat than have her die. Look, there it is! Irma skips ahead of me, pointing towards the fairly modern, lavish building in the distance. You seem excited. Excited is the wrong word. We have to save Lilia, right? She smiles as she says it, but inside, like me, she's worried. Right. Who's to say what will happen, but right now we both have to try our best. That's what she'd do for us. Following after Irma, the two of us making our way towards the library. I can't remember the last time I came here, but for certain it was probably a happier occasion. We make our approach on the building, staring at the reflections in the glass-paned windows as we head towards the doors. Stop looking at my reflection when I'm right in front of you. Who said I was looking at you? Well, why wouldn't you? I'm cute after all. Did she really just say that? Did you really just say that? Irma pounces as she walks toward the library's entrance. For some reason, her behavior seems a little off. Her arm reaches out to the door handle, but as I stand by her side, I notice it won't budge no matter how hard she tries. Why won't it open? I think it's locked. I look up at the door. A small paper sign hangs taped to the inside window. Closed. It's closed. Well, of course it is. A library open this late and on Halloween? I know that. But then what are we gonna do? Irma's once stern expression has quickly shifted to one panic. She begins pacing back and forth. Calm down. As much as I don't want to admit it, she's right. If we can't get inside, then there's no way we'll be able to decode this book by midnight. Maybe we can get in around the back. What? We're breaking in? Shh. When she puts it like that, I sound like a criminal. But it's really such a bad thing to save someone so important to me. I look around, both in an attempt to gather my thoughts and to find another way in. We can't give up, and a door certainly isn't going to stop us. Come on, this way. I begin walking towards the back of the large building. It looks bigger and more ominous at night. So, we are breaking in! Irma follows me with a panicked expression, but the sparkle in her eyes tells a different story. It's the same look I see when she's excited. A new idea, a new burst of motivation. I've worked with her long enough to know what she's like. Irma quickly takes a spot by my side as the two of us head around to the rear of the building. Neither of us make any attempt to be sneaky. No one visits the library at this time on Halloween anyway. Walk up to the closest fire exit we can find. We need to do whatever it takes to save Lilia. I approach the doors. Irma steps behind me, as if she were watching my actions intently. Taking a small run up, I push my weight against the door in an attempt to get inside, but alas, it doesn't budge. It won't open. I try a few more times out of desperation, but it doesn't move an inch. Well, it's a fire door. It's not gonna open from the outside. I guess you're right. I probably should have thought about that beforehand. Damn. The more we try, the harsher it feels inside, like a feeling I despise. Uselessness. There must be some other way. There has to be. Maybe we can call the librarian and say it's emergency. Feelings of despair wash over me as I stare towards the ground. Without contempt for my surroundings, I grasp on anything I can think of. Irma was silent for a few moments, and then... What if Before I can lift my head, I hear a loud shatter as Irma lets out a faint yelp. Ah! I didn't expect it to be that loud. You're not helping either. Looking in the direction of the noise, my eyes trace their way upwards from a pile of shattered glass towards a small broken window. She didn't, did she? What's that look for? I thought we were breaking in. But isn't that a bit much? Do you want to go to prison? Prison? Well, I'm not being serious, but I don't want to go to prison. They're not going to serve foie gras in prison, are they? Calm down. I'm pretty sure your sense of taste would be the least of your problems. Anyhow, stop worrying. We're not going to prison. At least, I don't think we are. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, we can get through the window. And just don't cut yourself on the glass. Did you hit your head? The window's too high to reach. Oh, well, obviously you have to lift me up. I'm certainly not lifting you up. When was the last time you dieted, huh? I ignore the rude remark of someone who indulges in copious amounts of foie gras and triple cream brie. All right. Irma walks towards the window, turning her head in a way so that her face is out of my sight. Come on, since it's shattered, I can reach into the window and unlock it from the inside. Then we can crawl through. She says, as underconfident as she appears. I guess we're going to save Lilia. We're going to have to take risks like these. Risking a legal break is nothing compared to losing our friend. Lift me up. As she stands with her back facing me, I approach Irma from behind as she reaches up the window and places my hand on her hips. As she stands with her back facing me, I approach Irma from behind as she reaches up to the window and place my hands on her hips. Yeep. Eep! Watch it, it tickles a bit. You told me to. Irma turns to me and pouts. We're facing the window yet again. Just what's wrong with this girl? Okay, I'm ready. She says it, albeit with a ragged breath. I guess that's my cue to hoist her up. With steady hands, I raise Irma up towards the window. She's lighter than I expected. Her skin feels smooth. Sometimes I forget Irma's a girl. Almost there, just a bit more. A gust of wind suddenly ruffles her skirt as I avert my eyes, while I assume she's unlocking the window. Soon enough, she becomes weightless as she crawls through the small window, disappearing inside before a small thud. Ow! Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. There's a bit of glass on the floor, so watch your landing. Can you get in? I'll try. Taking a few steps back, I prepare myself for a run up to the window, enough so that I can reach the ledge and hopefully climb through. Thought she was going to open the door from the inside or something. Now that she's opened it, I don't have to worry too much about slicing my hands open on the shards of glass, at least. Well, here goes nothing. Without hesitation, I pick up my pace and make a leap for the window, barely managing to hold on as I attempt to wriggle my way through. You're lucky you're smaller than me. Is that a compliment or an insult? Soon enough, I managed to slip my way through the window, landing on the floor with a thud in the same comical manner as Irma. It's fairly dark in the library, only small slivers of light filtered through the windows. Well, we're in. I don't condone property damage, but that was a good call on your part. Thanks, Irma. She looks away from me with a blush. I didn't do anything worth thanking me for. Anyway, let's just go and see if we can find any clues about that book. With a huff, Irma begins a path towards the main concourse of the library. I decide to follow suit, raising myself up from the floor as I pat myself down. Wait for me! I chase after her, and soon enough arrive back at her side, the two of us now alone in this empty, dusty building. Wait, wouldn't they have cameras in here? Oh, maybe we're heading for prison after all. Let's just say we're lost! Irma ends her sentence with a subdued, nervous laugh as if she were brushing off the situation we found ourselves in. That aside, how should we go about decoding this book? You're just going to ignore that we might be future inmates? There's no use worrying about that trouble now. You don't need to shout. Irma looks toward the floor with a dejected expression. I guess the stress of everything has really made itself manifest. I'm sorry. It's okay. You care about Lilia, right? So we need to do our best together. She's right. Seeing her like this, her face lit by the dim light shining through the windows, it'd be wrong for me to not say something meaningful in return. I care about you too. We're going to save her. That's why we're going to save her, because we're both doing our best. I couldn't have come this far without you, Irma. After all, it was your idea to break the window, right? Irma pouts. So you're saying you'll testify against me? I laugh and bat Irma's smile. Even now, we can have silly times like this. Hopefully, those times will return. For the three of us. Shouldn't be looking for clues? Right. I make my way to the nearest bookshelf, looking for anything that'll give us a hint of solving this mystery. Sloot, what exactly are we meant to be looking for again? Right, sorry, everything happened so fast. The author's name is Sybil, so anything you can find by her. Sybil what? That's a weird name. Hey, what about this? Irma shows me a book she randomly picked up from the shelf in cursive Latin. Irma, that's just cursive Latin. Well, how am I supposed to know the difference? I can't read which. Isn't that your job? Well, we wouldn't be in this situation if I could read the spell book. I can only read some of it, and why the spell worked is a mystery to me. What do you mean? My mom never had any strange powers, and well, I'm a guy. I never met my grandmother, but I do know she had powers. My parents used to fight about it all the time, even when I was a child. In the end, I never got to meet my grandmother before she passed away. Not that I would have wanted to, after seeing what witchcraft does. Sloot, I'm sorry, I didn't know. This is my fault. I shouldn't have brought it up. It's not, Irma. You didn't know. Anyway, we have to find Lilia. It was really difficult for me growing up dealing with their constant fighting. That's right. Lilia is the one who pushed me to write. She's the one who saved me. It was so long ago, but I still remember it clearly. They're freaks, and you want to go back to them? Isn't that why you ran away with me in the first place? But she's my mother. She's dying. I could clearly hear my parents fighting a few rooms away from us. Come on, Annie, you know what it was like growing up in that household. You know how much you hated it, and you're gonna put that on her son? Hey! Snap. A nervous but determined little voice called out to me, followed by the snap of her fingers. Which book will you read to me today? You're so good at storytelling. No, Lilia, I don't really feel like reading today. I've already read them all 1,000 times. But what about Prince Philip or Princess Aurora? I want to know what happened. What's the point? Philip saves Aurora from the evil witch, blah blah blah. They have a happy ending. They're all the same story. I often looked away from Lilia. The sadness and patheticness of her eyes made me mad. She never had to go through any of this. The shouting continued. I felt numb to it by now. But Sloot! Sloot! What, Lily? I already said no. I threw one of the picture books on the ground. It opened to the page of the evil witch Samantha imprisoning Princess Diana Sands. It was our favorite book. She loved to look at the pictures while I read to her. She said I made the characters come alive. Lilia didn't back down, even though she was slightly shaking, nervous. She looked at me with determination in her eyes. I couldn't return her gaze. What is it? You and me. Huh? You and me. We're going to write a book together. Something new. Something way, way, way better. And it can be whatever you want. Oh, but, Lilia, you can hardly read, let alone write. Then I'll draw the pictures. Lilia had already started grabbing some crayons and paper. Here, she said, thrusting a pencil at my face. I don't have all day, you know my drawings are really, really good. Lilia had already begun drawing with a rare and fiery intensity. I allowed myself to be swept up into the escape she created. Since then, Lilia and I have never stopped writing, never stopped drawing. It became our little bond. When we were down, we would draw, we would write. Before we knew it, Lilia and I had formed a kind of intense bond, but one that was different, strange, and matured from when we were children. I felt more fragile. Lilia, I really, really... Sloot, are you okay? I'm fine. I just got lost in my thoughts. You know, Lilia is the one who encouraged me to write. She saved me in a way. I see. But... I know I haven't known you nearly as long as you've known Lilia, so maybe I don't have the right to say anything. But I think you don't give yourself enough credit, Sloot. Lilia might have saved you once, but right now, and all these years, so you saved yourself and many others with your writing, your creativity. You really inspire me. I mean, I wouldn't agree to be your editor if I didn't think you had talent. And now you write for yourself, don't you? Oh, I guess. Just don't let it get to your head, okay? I know. Thanks, Irma.
That's great and all. But our friend is dying, so I don't know why we're like, hey,
you're a good writer, okay?
Okay? Don't forget, like, it's great to give your friends pep talks about their creative capabilities and, you know, whatnot, but I'm not sure if now is the greatest time.
She smiles back at me. Okay, let's look for books by Sybil for now. We weave our way around several bookshelves, tracing each letter one by one. P, Q, R, S. It's what? I follow Irma's gaze into our maze in a series of books with the author Sybil lying the bookshelf before us. That was easier than I thought. Well, what do you mean, well? Let's start looking. Like a child, Irma pulls all the books from the shelf, making a cluttered mess on the floor. I suppose that's one way to do it, but by the looks of things, it'll take a while to go through all of these. Time quickly passes, the two of us skim through the books before us. As each page goes by, it's more fruitless our endeavors become. The idea of mystical spellbooks and secret codes being stored in a public library was a stupid one to begin with. These are just children's stories. Who would have thought a witch would be a great writer? I'm sure if the kids who read these actually met the author, they'd be more frightened by appearances than tales of damsels in distress saved by knights in shining armor. Just what is this woman's problem? Is she writing out her own fantasies or something? Act of frustration, I take hold of our beloved spellbook and toss it towards a nearby bookshelf. What did you do that for? What if you ruin it and we can't save Lilia? It's just... Wait a second. I look towards the floor at the spellbook I just tossed. The back cover is strewn open on the floor, revealing a sort of biography of the author in plain English. What we've been looking for was in our hands all along. What? What's that look for? Read this. I quickly pick the book up from the ground, presenting it to Irma as she looks back towards me with confusion. I don't get it. Read the last part. This renowned witch, also known for mystical fairy tales and enchanting stories for young human minds, blah blah blah. Wait, she lives in the forest? Right. Well, we found out she writes children's stories. Perhaps she's not such a bad person after all. We'll only know for sure once we pay her a visit. We need to save Lilia and fast. Right, I guess we can come back later and clean up all these books, yeah. Tracing back the way we came, it doesn't take us long to exit the library. Our passion now reignited as the hope inside us cascades through our hearts. It's that passion with which we chase our dreams, the three of us. The sound of nature encompasses us as we delve further into the forest, tracing our way along a winding cobbled path with the darkness as our only company. I look behind me, tilting my head down, and see Irma's fingers press softly against the fabric of my cuff, holding my sleeve tightly as she trails behind me. How far did you say this place was? You'd think they would have built a road out here. Just how does this woman get her mail? Do you really think anyone's going to be writing letters to a witch? Irma's grip on my sleeve tightens as the fabric constricts around my skin, pulling the sleeve against my shoulder as she continues to tug at my arm, all the while batting her eyes in every possible direction. She's scared, and I have to admit I can kind of see where she's coming from. Who publishes their address on their book?
The looming shadows of the trees canopying over us, blocking out any hopes of seeing the evening sky above. It's a sight I would have liked to have shared with her. All I can do is hope she'll be all right. We don't have much time left. What are you stopping for? Irma cries out, nervousness too apparent, though, through her thinly veiled attempts at composure. I never thought I'd see her like this. It's nothing, don't worry. I look back towards Irma with a weak smile. Right now, I don't think my heart could muster much else. You say that, but it's about her, isn't it? What makes you think that? Ever since she fainted, you've had this sad look on your face. All day. She fainted at 8, approximately. And it's sometime before midnight. How is that all day? And yeah, why wouldn't I? If we don't do something, she'll, Irma, I know, I think... Before she can finish, an ominous figure lunges from the bushes behind us. Ah! Startled, Irma jumps back at me, wrapping her arms tightly around my waist as the figure approaches. The sight of glowing red eyes clashes against the depths of the shadows as a vicious scowl scrapes our eardrums. It's a wolf! The beast stands before us, fangs drawn as it pants and salivates at all I can assume is its prey. Us. Oh, what are we gonna do? Just stay calm. 1,000 thoughts rush my mind, encasing in a sea of doubt and uncertainty, courage and fear. I'd read how to deal with animal attacks for the first time I found myself needing to know. Just why can't I think straight? The sight before me slowly but surely drifts into haziness. The trees, the path, Irma, everything becomes a misty figure as the wolf's eyes dig deeper into my consciousness, fear running through my every vein. But for now, let's just back away slowly. If we make ourselves look less like a threat, maybe it'll go away. Are you alright? You don't look so good. As we stand entrapped by the wolf's presence, the creature makes a swift dash towards us, right in the direction of... Irma, look out! Without realizing it, my body moves into the air, jolting itself in front of Irma's as I block the impending swipe. Though what was once a dark, commanding figure quickly dissipates into the air as I hit the ground hard. Irma standing frozen against a backdrop of crisp autumn leaves peeking out from the dark and the occasional strand of light. An apparition? What? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. It looks like we had nothing to worry about. It was just a ghost. A ghost? I'm joking. I just think maybe the stress of today is getting to our heads. It certainly feels like it. The world around me reflects the feelings in my heart. Maybe I hit my head. Thank you. What are you thanking me for? Where'd your usual courageousness go? Do you really think I can be like that? I can't. Not without you. That look in your eyes, I only ever saw it around her. But you protected me, even if it was just an appetite or whatever. Apparition. The look on Irma's face is one of embarrassment. The rosy color of her cheeks strewn above the paleness of her skin really does make her look cute sometimes. Yeah, she's freaking adorable, but her personality kinda meh. Irma smiles. She extends her hand out towards me, albeit shaking slightly as all the while. The warmth of her skin meets mine, contrasting against the cooling night air as I take her hand in my own, our fingers clasping around each other's. We're holding hands. Can we stay like this for a while? You're still scared? Of course I'm not. It's just... Is it bad to say that I've enjoyed spending time with you today? How so? Irma looks away, her cheeks still crimson in color as she tightens her grip on my hand. You know, what with Lily's condition and all. Is it wrong for me to be selfish? It's not wrong for you to have those feelings. I do think it's a little wrong to be telling him about this while his best friend and girl that he obviously likes is dying because of something he did. So yeah. I have a feeling of what she's hinting at, but something inside me doesn't want to say it aloud. Don't worry, it's nothing. She releases her grip on my hand before taking a single step ahead, turning back to face me. Come on, we haven't got much time. Irma returns her gaze to the path ahead of us, bashfully taking another step further into the darkness, a stark contrast with her prior uneasiness. I follow suit, breaking into a faster pace in an attempt to catch up with her, taking my place at her side. The cobbled path below quickly fades into dirt beneath our feet, the once hard texture of solid ground becoming sandy and soft as we tread further into the natural landscape. Are you sure we're going the right way? Well, what if we're lost? This is the only way we can go. Still, she's got a point. The safety of the hard stone path is quickly fleeted as we find ourselves enclosed by nothing but pure wilderness. The looming night continues to shroud us as we strive forwards to reach our destination, the two of us together. A cool breeze blows amongst us as we walk side by side further down the beaten path of dirt, stone, and grass. It's odd. The ever-present sense of unease fills the atmosphere, and neither of us say a word, pressing forward on our mission to save Lily.
I'd once thought of Irma as a very brave, brash girl, but something about her right now tells me that was never the case. She's cute.
Excuse me?
Am I cute?
Is this just because I earlier said... What? Irma turns to me with a reddened expression coating her face. Her hair flutters in the breeze as she stares towards me with a determined expression.
You heard what I said. Am I cute?
With an even stronger expression than before, Irma inches closer towards me, her nervous voice contrasting her strong posture. I just don't understand, when your best friend's dying, why this is her concern. I get having some of these feelings and things even during this, but why would you be bringing them up right now? With an even stronger expression than before, Irma inches closer towards me, her nervous voice contrasting her strong posture. I don't know how to answer.
That look in your eyes when you were protecting me. I'd only seen that around her. Lilia?
Irma flinches at the mention of her name. What do you mean? Deep down, the answer is already there, but something inside me doesn't want to admit it. Maybe she doesn't like Ilia.
I've always wished you'd look at me like that. I guess my wish came true, right?
Irma's glossy pink lips upturn as she feigns a smile. One of nervousness, denial, guilt, whatever it is, I can't put my finger on it. She's cute, but when my heart wants something else, someone else, being in this position is hard. Just what do I want?
I know how you feel about Lilia. I guess I'm just a little jealous is all.
Finishing her sentence with a laugh, Irma averts her eyes from mine, biting her lip nervously as she pauses for thought.
Anyway, just ignore me. I don't know what I'm saying.
You're saying something from the heart, right? Irma returns her gaze to me, now visibly shocked as her mouth hangs ajar and the blush on her face deepens.
But at a time like this,
Yeah, I agree. It's wrong, I agree. Just forget it, okay?
I can't. Something inside me can't. I don't know what to do.
I can't. I'm sorry. You're right. At a time like this, I don't know what to say. I've liked Lilia ever since, well, at my lowest point, she was always there for me. I don't know what I'm saying. Irma continues to look towards me, quivering as she fidgets, biting her lip harder as the look in her crystal eyes tears me apart. Just what am I supposed to say to her? Maybe it's not the right time for this after all. I want her to find someone that'll look at her the same way, someone to be there for her, to hold her, and to make her feel strong. Can that person really be me? I love Lilia, but...
Is that how you feel?
Irma sighs. I don't know what I feel. Things like this, emotions, they're hard. Who would have thought the day would have gone like this? I don't want the times we spent together to end. I want to be there for the both of them. Anyway, we're a team, right? We need to find Lilia fast. I can't do that without you. Why do they keep saying find Lilia? They know where she is. She's dying in his apartment. Irma's blush deepens, turning her face away from me once again as she regains a steady breath. I stretched my hand out towards her. After all, if it wasn't for her efforts, the three of us wouldn't be where we are today.
You want to hold hands again?
What? I looked down towards my outstretched hand and realized how bold of a move that really was. We're a team, right? After all this is over, let's make the visual novel of our dreams.
Right.
Returning my hand to my side, Irma smiles towards me as I in turn respond with a warm expression of my own. Despite a day full of stress and worry, having moments like this is what I really cherish. The strength of heart to see something through together. I'll protect those days no matter what.
I think we made it.
Irma points ahead with a stronger smile on her face than before, one I called determined. It's nice to see, especially after all we've been through. I traced the path of her extended arm with my gaze, quickly shifting from her to the scene before us, a small, desolate cottage in a state of somewhat disrepair. I guess this must be it. We finally made it. Irma looks at me expectantly as we reach the door of the small cottage in front of us.
You do it. I don't want to get my hands dirty. You're wearing gloves.
I knock quietly on the door. Silence. The air around us feels stifling. I knock again, this time much louder than I intended. A threatening voice booms out from within the house. Who dares to interrupt me? Leave now or you will regret it. Suddenly a swarm of bats flies around our heads. Irma squeals. What is this? Wolves appear out of the dark and begin to surround us. Are they apparitions this time too? I didn't want to find out. I'm starting to think that maybe she's not such a good person. Though we wouldn't run after coming all this far. Lilia, time was almost running out. It was 11 p.m. Please, witch Sybil, is that you? We need your help. but only silence followed as the wolves inched closer to us and bats circled us more menacingly. Every second felt like an hour as we waited.
Please!
After a moment, the bats fly away and the wolves run off deeper into the forest. They really weren't apparitions this time. The door of the cottage opens with a creak and a smaller voice calls out.
What do you want? I'm quite busy. I don't live all the way up here to be interrupted.
A woman appears before us in the doorway. Her gaze immediately falls upon Irma, her face souring.
Oh.
How distasteful.
Huh?
The witch turns to look at me, her gaze drawn to my hands, clutching my grandmother's spellbook.
Oh.
Somehow she sounds even more irritated this time.
Well, come in then. I can tell something has gone terribly wrong.
Irma and I exchange glances. I shrug and we enter the somewhat derelict cottage. Sybil pulls out 2 wooden chairs from a wooden table, motioning us to sit. The 2 of us wait in awkward silence as the witch doesn't say anything, busying herself with shuffling papers and putting away some pen inks and paints. It seems she was in the middle of working on another of her children's books. Sybil finally sits down.
So then, what do I owe the displeasure of having you 2 in my home?
We quietly explain the witch about Lily and why we came here. The witch's expression is unreadable and she only stops us occasionally to clarify certain details.
But if my mother had no power, and I'm also a guy, then how did I actually cast these spells?
There are male witches. I'm not sure where such misinformation came from. Male witches are certainly not warlocks either.
But yes, indeed it is a curious case. Your grandmother must have been quite a powerful witch.
It's likely your mother's witch powers lay dormant inside her until you were born. It was passed on to you. Improbable, yes, but impossible, no. Either way, you shouldn't mess with powers outside your understanding, or training. Perhaps you will take this as your first lesson. Do not play with things you don't understand. Wait, are you saying you won't help us?
I'm quite busy. Busy with what? Your children's books? Our friend is gonna die.
What? Is that so hard to understand? I have dreams too. It's none of your business anyway. Sybil sighs. I can sense your determination and anger. But the truth is, I don't have the power to reverse your spell.
What do you mean? Aren't you a witch?
Hexing is much easier than reversing a hex. If I had more time, then yes. Sybil stays silent for a few moments, deep in thought.
Well, there's one way, but...
But what? We'll do anything.
Yes, anything, please.
In such a short amount of time, it would take an incredible amount of power. The hexes regress so much. I would need an equal amount of power, raw power, in this case, life essence, to reverse the spell's progression. Put simply, I would need Irma's life essence to bring Lilia back.
What?
No. The witch stares at us in silence for a moment. Or, you don't have to bring Lilia back, huh? That's a second option. You could simply leave here with Irma. No, I couldn't. Lilia, Irma.
It's okay, really. Lilia, she needs you, you know. I know how much you care about her.
Irma, no, I couldn't.
Decide, Sloot, or time will decide for you. We've not much of it left.
Irma, Lilia, I've been through so much with both of them. Without Lilia, I'm not sure I would even be here. She's helped me through thick and thin. She's perceptive and always makes everyone around her feel at ease. Her art has helped make our visual novel shine. And Irma, I've only known her for a few years, but she's helped me so much. She's always the one to help me on my feet when I'm down or don't know what to do. Her writing skills help me take a moment to reflect on what I want to say and how to say it with the right words. They both mean so much to me. The one who matters most to me is... No, I couldn't live without either of them. The one who matters most to me is... No, I couldn't live without either of them. Please, use my life essence instead to save Lilia.
No, Sloot, you can't.
How valiant of you.
Like a knight in shining armor.
Sybil coughed. Very well then.
Sloot, no!
And the witch begins chanting an incantation I can't comprehend. The world around me turns white and Irma's yelling slowly fades away. I feel myself becoming weaker and weaker until I almost feel weightless. Is this what it's like to die? If it's to save them both, then I'm fine with it. All I can see is light. There's no sound, no visuals, no feeling. It's absolute peace. I begin to close my eyes again. You're stronger than you look. Perhaps try embracing that power of yours someday instead of keeping it locked away. You know where to find me. Ugh. Instantly I feel heavy. I feel myself begin to fall. And then pain, excruciating pain, washes over my entire body. It feels like 1,000 knives are stabbing me. I fall further and further, crying out in pain. Thunk. Sloot! A serene voice, the sound of a bell, calls me out and the pain disappears. I open my eyes. I'm back home. I get up with a jolt. Where's... Ah! Oh! Irma and Lilia are both on each side of me. Lilia, you're awake, and Irma, you're okay! Oh, Sloot, I thought you were... I thought...
Irma told me everything. You're both so brave. And Sloot, I can't believe you almost did.
Lilia's voice begins to choke up and she couldn't finish her sentence.
I don't know what I would do in a world without you, and Irma too.
I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry, it was all my fault. But I'm really so glad you're both safe.
Sloot?
Lilia is startled, but she doesn't move.
Sloot, I must have really worried you. I'm sorry.
I feel Lilia's warm hands against my back, reciprocating the gesture. She pulls me in closer, blushing. Her large chest is soft and warm. Of course, we couldn't go the whole game without saying anything about her titties.
And thank you for saving me. You went through a lot, I guess. You're my hero. But please don't do anything else that would put your life in danger.
We leave our embrace. Or yours, I chime in.
Right.
I'm just glad we're all safe and sound. Both you and Lilia had me so worried. The three of us laughed together. A few months later, a lot has happened since that Halloween. It helped us realize how intrinsic each one of us are to each other. Irma, Lilia, and I also published our visual novel. We only have a small following, but we put a lot of effort in, which is what matters most. Hopefully one day we'll become a fully fledged visual novel studio, and I've learned to accept my powers for what they are. I've been taking lessons from Sybil and helped her publish her children's books to a wider audience, which is still her passion. Hey, Sloot. Oh, and Lilia and I finally began dating. Irma gave me the courage to finally confess how I really felt about her, and Lilia felt the same way.
Thank you, Sloot. I was always too scared to tell you how I felt. I thought it would ruin our friendship. I thought you didn't feel the same way. I know I can be clumsy, forgetful, and a little strange sometimes, but I've always felt like you understand me, and that you see me for who I am. I want to be able to support you always in anything you do. I love you, Sloot.
I love you too, Lilia. Ending 2 of 5, Everlasting Lilia. Well, that was Bewitched Hearts. It's completely free. I will leave the link in the description. There's apparently 5 endings, so you should download it and give it a go yourself. See what ending you get. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!